Okay, dude. So you sent me that. You sent me that Twitter post with Conor McGregor.
Greatest meme video of all time.
It was honestly a really good edit.
It was. I was surprised.
Here, let's play it out for them.
We gotta watch this shit.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Here we go.
I think copyright exists for this. Well, this is not the same one.
No. Dude, they just have to put Joe Rogan.
Well, that's the beauty of it. It's just it's all over the place.
Bro. I love how this is like a British mall somewhere.
Is Dana White on the stand?
Right here. Right here. The hardest hitting 145er right here. Who the fuck is that guy?
Yes. This is really good. Wow. Well, we got the point of that.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch the
Yeah,
entire
that was
video.
okay. We get it. Edits, great.
Dude, the greatest one is the one with Conor versus Habib. It's the absolute best one I've ever seen.
Is it Habib or Khabib? Khabib.
I don't even know.
Khabib.
I just say
How do you
Habib.
pronounce that? I'm gonna search that up. How to pronounce Khabib? Habib. Yeah, see, Khabib.
Well, that's a like white American version. It's Habib.
It's
It has to be.
Khabib. I don't know. It has to be Khabib.
That's the Anglo-Saxon
But
version.
again, he is Russian, so I don't know if that has anything to do with Arabic.
Maybe.
Khabib. Maybe, actually.
I feel like there are some intersections
Russian
between
and Arabic similarities. Let's look that up.
Today on the 2 a.m. podcast episode of Googling shit.
Yeah. We're going to look at the Russian and Arabic similarities, mostly in words. Huh. Let's see. Deleted post.
Okay, that's way too long for us to read.
Yeah, we're not going to read that.
No.
And plus it was deleted, so whatever. It doesn't matter. What is harder, Arabic or Russian? What do you think? I'm not even going to look at the answer.
Ooh. I'm gonna say Arabic.
That's I believe they are actually the same.
They're both
Like
very
level.
fucking hard to learn.
Yeah, they're the same level for sure.
But I would say Arabic.
Which is harder, Arabic or Russian? I would lean more on Arabic.
Just because I feel like there are a whole bunch of
Yeah.
variations in terms of like vowels and stuff.
And as much as I've studied from it, it's more like even in normal conversation, when spoken properly, it is poetic. It's really deep-rooted. Less words, more meaning. Think of that. English is the complete opposite.
I will
So if
say,
you want to compare it to something that's really shitty, it's English.
I will say Russian is similar to Arabic in the sense of like it sounds like, especially if it's a man, it sounds like the person is trying to kill you or being like overly aggressive
Yeah.
with their language.
I can see that. I can see that. It comes off very harsh.
Yeah.
Rather harsh. Okay. Well, since we laughed off this morning, what is on our mind today?
What's
And
this?
today-
What's this whole thing you were talking about with archetypes?
Well, I was listening to the man at Dan Coe's podcast this morning, the Modern Mastery podcast. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you do not listen to it, it's a pretty good one.
It's a very
Go
good
ahead
one, yeah.
and, check that out for sure. Dan's a cool guy, so knowing him, I think I was more focused on the questions he was about to ask his guest. And his guest for today was Dakota Robertson, I believe, from Canada. And on this episode, there was one particular part where he started speaking about like what made Dakota start hitting the gym. And it started off with saying like, if you want to do good in life, definitely, without a doubt, no questions asked, lift weights every single day, right?
Yeah.
Because it goes farther than that. It goes to build your confidence. It goes to build your strength, maybe even your ego.
It bleeds into
It
everything.
just bleeds into everything, and it generally just makes every aspect of your life a lot better. Why? Because overall, your mental health is so much more clear and just breathable. right?
Yeah.
You have more room to do stuff.
You are healthy.
Yeah. So he started off on that note, and after that note, he started asking Dakota about, his journey. And Dakota's a ripped dude. Okay? He's like 5'8". He's ripped. He's doing well for himself. He had to teach himself nutrition. Why? Because nutrition as a language in his home, like it wasn't obese, it wasn't diabetic, but it was more like the wrong stuff was still laying around, right?
The standard American diet. Yeah.
And he had to climb out of that. He didn't like where he sat with his weight. He was bullied for it. Yada, yada, yada. He started getting worried and depressed about himself and just wanted to change himself. Once he hit the gym, he realized that all of that is possible. You can actually change these things, and it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one would say that that is pretty successful, right? He had a goal. He achieved it. He's healthy, and he considers himself healthy, and he's out to help more people and,
Sure.
you know, all that. So he started talking about it. Dan asked a very interesting question. He said, drum roll, please. He asked him, do you ever dig into the archetype of your past self and start to panic again, or not necessarily panic, but really just live off and manifest that old self? Does it ever creep up on you? And I thought that was a very interesting question, because we tend to just want to forget the past, right? We move forward. We don't move back.
Yeah.
And he answered, I would say in my own definition from listening, he said slightly yes. It's not all negative. But he began to explain. And when he began to explain, that's when I started coming up with my own kind of thoughts. And before I get there, I want you to see, like, do you get a grasp of what I am talking about?
In terms of archetypes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well,
We have our past fucked up archetype, right? And you don't want to visit that, because it's kind of like, you know, that's something that sparked something in you that created yourself today.
Yeah.
So why are we stopping there again?
Yeah, and by the way, just to set a little context, I searched up what the definition of an archetype is. There are many definitions, but just to simplify it, we're going to consider it a pattern of behavior, because that is one of the definitions. So
Exactly.
it makes sense from that perspective.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, look, whenever you have an old mode of being and you break out of it and you evolve, you transcend it
Yeah.
into something better and something that's more evolved, I think it always creeps up at you, or creeps up on you, because it's just, we've spent so much time in that lifestyle that sometimes, you know, when we are not at our best selves, it comes up on you. And it could get the better of you, but more often than not, it doesn't, because you've evolved past that. You know what the healthier option is. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the way I want to frame the question is that necessarily considered a bad thing to visit? Because I believe it's, from what I hear, you know, a lot of people are going to tell you it's 50-50. A lot of people tell you, no, you never look back. You only look forward. That's in the past. And there's people that are going to be like, listen, you've come a long way. It's okay to peek in the past and talk to your inner self, like your inner child. Or they kind of relate it as to that past being an inner child.
What do you mean by visit, though?
So it's vaulted. So I mean visit spiritually. So
Like just reflect on?
Reflect on it, sit alone, right? But thoughts are scary, correct? Because thoughts can, you know, depending on the person, can lead you down a path you didn't want to go down to. Right? So, I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to control my thoughts, but not everyone is. So would visiting that be an issue? I generally don't know. I think I have a problem with people telling people as a general rule to, you know, once you've achieved a goal and you've transcended into the being that, you know, you want it to be, should you look back? Should you look back and reflect? Because I don't know if reflection is gonna do more harm or it's gonna do more good.
Listen, I don't think you need to look back and reflect on it, because as we mentioned, it will creep up on you, and then you'll go through the experience for a limited period of time, and then that will become a reminder of why you are in the position that you're in, that you are too evolved to deal with this past bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's valuable for people to think about it, at least most of the population, because they're just going to ruminate. They're just going to stick on it for hours on end, maybe days on end.
Yeah.
And then that's going to send them spiraling down.
Yeah, and
some other shit.
that's what creates the victim, right?
Exactly.
The victim spiral.
Mm-hmm.
It's being too stuck on it.
Yeah, that's literally the only problem, because you can go through some of the worst shit, but if you're too stuck on it, then you're just recreating that memory over and over again in the present.
Yeah. Well, after my recovery, I've sat in, like, basically quarantined for the past 6 days, so it's been hell.
Remind them why.
It's a little personal. I don't really want to say why, but
You can just make it
stomach
like,
problems. Yeah, I've had stomach problems for years. Finally got it fixed, so thank you everyone for reaching out. Thank you, it means the world. I am doing much better, and in case you're wondering, of course. And yeah, we're just living it out, baby.
yeah.
But it really got me to think, and really think about controlling my thoughts, because in times like that, especially when you're in pain, post surgery, you're drugged out. You're not really your 100% self. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of impulses and things that are just generally feel weird at the time. But when you do think, you start thinking about how you're thinking. What is the process of thinking?
Metacognition.
Yeah, right? Whoa, dude, I'm like transcending into like 5th and 6th dimensions right now.
Yeah, breaking the 4th wall.
Yeah, the 7th too. I don't care. like I'm going everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was one particular day when I felt really, really, really in pain. And it wasn't physical pain. It was just more like emotional, mental, physical. You're just like, why? And guess what it was, man? It was a damn thought. It was literally a damn thought. And all I had to do was section it out.
You just lingered on a thought.
Yeah. I lingered on a thought. I didn't process the thought. And I just thought of it as a thought. And I didn't break it down.
That's how tricky that shit is.
And this is coming from someone that is actively solving problems, right? I'm micromanaging. I'm macro managing. I'm like doing all kinds of things throughout the day.
Yeah.
Every day is a different life for me. That's how it feels. Anyway. Yes. You have to take the thought and section it. You have to know, is this worthy of thinking about right now? You have to learn how to ask yourself questions. How to ask yourself questions that are going to lead to solving this so-called problem or situation, which is most likely not physical, and it's just a mental thing that is floating.
Or on the other end, you don't have to compartmentalize. You don't have to section. You don't even have to like notice the thought. Because here's the thing with thinking and thoughts in general, is that they act like weather patterns, if that makes sense. Or they act like clouds. You just see them, they come, they go, they disappear.
Yeah.
And then they come again, they go, they disappear. So I'm more a believer that thinking in a lot of scenarios is overrated, when action is the more important thing. Because even if you fuck up, if you take the wrong course of action, you will learn from that.
Yeah.
And then you'll adapt based off of it.
I like that, actually.
Because people are too stuck in their heads.
Yeah. You don't want to be stuck in your head. Because thinking and taking the time to think is kind of like doing homework. It's kind of like achieving your presentation, your PowerPoint. You know, you're trying to formulate something. So yes, it does have its own environment, actually. You can't just sit there and think. I feel like you need to prepare to think, because you want to walk out of it with a solution. And that's the proper way to think.
Yeah, but how many times have you like seriously thought about a problem and you've come out with a solution?
Many times.
Well, I mean, many times. It depends on the
But
context.
it comes
most
out
people,
of, it's practice, man.
yeah.
It's practice. It's kind of like, okay, when I first started jump roping, I was hopping wrong to begin with. And then over a course of a week, practicing daily, you learned your hop, but now you could barely do like 3 ropes. So you're like, okay, I haven't really gotten that much progress. I can't jump rope yet, but I don't know, whatever. And then suddenly you're just doing it.
Yeah.
What happened? You just did it enough. So I think that's why, like, if you, everyone actually needs to take things from others.
Yeah.
I find that the best advice that I get is from strangers, for the most part. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, why is it way more comfortable to talk to a therapist that is a stranger than it is to talk to a therapist that is your friend? Right?
It depends.
I'm talking about like just standard societal thinking.
Or no, I get
You get what
where
I mean?
you're coming
A lot
from.
of people are embarrassed. Like, it stems from the same place that speaking your native language in public is embarrassing, right? To some people. I never understood that.
Yeah.
Right? If I saw like a fellow Arab or Muslim in like in the streets and I said, "Hey, salam alaikum," a lot of them actually give me a look like, "What the?"
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, I'm like, "Whoa, okay, my bad. I'm just recognizing my own people." But
You realize it is a signal that you know another language, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
yeah, another thing, like siblings, family, things like that. I was completely different than they were, so I was a little bit more open and just a little bit more pushy with things. So I didn't mind that. I thought it was completely normal to, like, you know, speak to your mother in Arabic or whatever in public. Who cares, right? It's just it's communication at the end of the day.
It is, yeah.
I remember a period of my life where that was embarrassing. Isn't that funny? I clearly
I'm
have
trying to
evolved.
think of times where I've gone through that. I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
But that was a very common thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
A lot of kids my age. A lot of them grew up to not even speak Arabic. I wouldn't say lucky. I was just forced to do it. So I was going through school a lot.
I mean, I'm a good example of that, but
Yeah.
if I go back home to Jordan, pick it up
you'll-
within a
you'll-
month.
Yeah, exactly. You'll pick it up.
But
because
it's just because I don't use
yeah,
it here.
Yeah, you don't use it and you don't surround yourself with it too much.
Yeah.
But you get my point. Is that it's like the same? It kind of derives from the same place. It's that vulnerable, like hurt place. It's an attacked place, right? Which is why you don't feel ultimately comfortable to do it to begin
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Security. What was the main point?
Archetypes.
Archetypes. Yes. Got a little off track there. But archetypes. Yeah, I really do think that if I had to label it, I think it's if you know how to control yourself well enough and practice other things before you even get to reading into the past. I think it's totally beneficial to dig into the past so you can move even more into the future.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have a well-adjusted mind.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I think there is absolutely no need to dig into the past.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do mentally is if I did not like my 2008 self and I completed my 2008 self, up until this day, and then today, I am satisfied with who I am. I'm going to mentally give myself a certificate with a golden stamp that says, boom, you finished 2008, baby. This is you now.
Congratulations.
Right? This is a milestone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do things like that because I think you can also remember things like that. That's also a memory. If I have a thought and I want myself to hold on to that thought, I will staple it as a memory. That's how I will do it.
Yeah.
And that memory will always be episode number 123.
Ah, but wait.
I know. But I'm just saying, number 123,
Oh,
that's going to be the
I
memory.
thought you were ending this
No,
shit.
no.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to talk about?
I'm just having a conversation, dude. I haven't been here. I haven't seen you in a while. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of enjoying it.
We did take some Alpha Brain.
We did take some Alpha Brain.
And to be honest, I don't feel like it's kicked in.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't
By the
feel
way,
like it's kicked in?
Alpha Brain is like a nootropic stack created by a company called Onnit.
Joe Rogan's a huge investor in it. He speaks
yeah.
highly of it.
Aubrey Marcus used to be the CEO of Onnit. He stepped down. I think he takes more of an advisory role, but it's a good company.
It's a good company. I tried it actually last Tuesday.
What does it have? Alpha, GPC, L-theanine, bunch of other shit that's supposed to make your mind like...
Yeah, there was a bunch of floral herbs too.
Floral herbs.
Can't remember the names. But yeah, proves memory and focus. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out.
Now, I will tell you, lion's mane. Lion's mane is a type of mushroom. It's an adaptogen. That shit, it creates a type of focus. Like, you could pierce through walls. I could stare at this wall. Like, I took it yesterday. I could stare at that wall for maybe an hour straight.
Wow.
No
What do you
problem
mean?
whatsoever.
And are you having fun?
I'm having fun, but the focus is so intense that I can almost, like, I'm looking at a wall. I don't acknowledge it as a wall, but it's like I'm staring into infinity.
Do you feel any kind of numbness when you're doing it? Like when you're just staring at it so hard?
No numbness, no.
No?
No.
Interesting. I need to try that.
Yeah, good stuff to try, though.
Lion's mane. Lion's mane. Lion's mane. But anyway, guys, let us know what you think of digging into your past self.
Yeah.
I know it could be disastrous, but
It could be you could fucking ruin your life.
yeah, just warning.
You could go back to a heroin addiction. I don't know.
Yeah, let's not go back that far, but you get the point. Let us know if you think that you can safely enter the past and exit out for your own future benefit. Go ahead.
Also, I want to mention something about the stew.
Oh, yeah,
update.
for sure.
So we're going to record our final few episodes in here, but we will be moving because we are frankly tired and sick of this building.
Yep.
And, bring 2022, the new year, with a new change.
100%. Yeah. Change of environment. It's been cool. It's been nice. It's been a nice couple of years here. So,
Served its purpose.
yep. And it's time to move on. We will never look back at this place.
Rest in peace to the stew.
Sealed off archetype. All right, guys, this has been episode number 123. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube at the 2 a.m. podcast and on Instagram at the 2 a.m. podcast. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all major streaming platforms. Go ahead and check us out. Leave us a comment and a review. 5 stars. Check us out, baby. See you next time.
Deuces.